Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to be back for season two of SMA Voices. It's been a little while. I took the summer off and now I am ready to get back into it and meet lots of new faces and hear lots of new stories. And I think everybody will be really excited about my interview today. She has a very interesting story that I think a lot of people out there would like to know. So, the reason for this YouTube channel is to spread awareness and to advocate for SMA. So, if you would please share the YouTube channel so people out there can educate themselves more on SMA and see that people with SMA still can live a normal everyday life. So today we have Alissa. Alissa, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself to us? Tell us where you're from and how old you are.
Yeah, so my name is Alissa Kalaniuk. I'm 24 years old, going to be 25 in a few days, actually.
Okay.
I'm from California, and I have SMA type 3, 4. I'll kind of go into detail about that later.
Okay. Well, when's your birthday?
August 20th.
Oh, okay. I'm August 31st. So we're
Yeah.
close. That's awesome. And also, I forgot to mention too, the August is SMA Awareness Month. So this is definitely a special month for both of us.
Yeah, it is.
So awesome. So you live in California. Have you lived there your whole life or?
Yes, I have.
Mm-hmm. That's neat.
Live in like Northern California, lived here pretty much all my life, but we visit Southern California a lot too. So
Mm-hmm.
familiar with pretty much majority of California.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. I hear the weather is beautiful there. I've only been one time to visit. It was actually to Hollywood, Beverly Hills, and all that area. So I remember it was really pretty.
Yeah, it is. I love
Mhm.
the weather here. It's nicer in Southern California because it's cooler and not as hot, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm from Louisiana, so it is very hot down here right now, plus the humidity as well. So, well, let's just jump into it all because I know we have a lot to talk about today. So, you were saying about your diagnosis that you're 34. So, go ahead and tell us the process of getting diagnosed and what your symptoms were and all that.
I'll start with my symptoms first. So I started exhibiting symptoms around 10, 12 years old. My mother noticed I'd start like falling a lot, and I was always a really athletic kid, like always on the run since like a little kid, like climbing everything, the fastest probably at running, and like everyone in my class, my mom was like, something is wrong. She's
Mhm.
not as fast anymore. Then I couldn't build thigh muscle anymore. It started to like get smaller, even though I was still active, didn't change anything. And then my knees would give out a lot. I'd like fall a lot. Then stairs started to get harder, like going up and down. So PE in like high school was really, really challenging.
Mhm.
Not an easy task. The high school I went to was pretty hardcore PE also. We had like a whole, they call it a biathlon. So you had to like swim like 6 laps, then go run a mile and a half, then swim another 6 laps and run another mile and a half. Somehow I finished.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
but it was pretty tiring. So we did go to the doctors, I think around like 15 years old, and they were just like, "You're growing too fast. I'm not a giant. I'm like 5'5", so I'm like, I don't think that makes sense. Maybe if I was like closer to 6 feet, you'd have growing pains, like, or something. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense. So no one could ever diagnose me. They were like, you just need to go to PT and I should fix it. I did do a little bit of PT, but it was still like hard to do some exercises due to like the thigh muscle starting to get weaker.
Mhm.
So didn't know I had SMA, and then I got, I guess I'll kind of go into the other questions, but I got married at
Mhm.
19, was about to be 20, so kind of
Oh, okay.
early.
Mhm.
Um, and then we got pregnant, like, I think a year after being married about. And during pregnancy, like the first trimester, you can do like genetic testing on yourself and the baby.
Mhm.
And my mom was like, there's no need to do that. We're still gonna have the baby. Like, which, yeah, even if the baby had, say, Down syndrome or anything, it'd still have the baby. And I'm like, I don't know, I feel like I just need to do it for some reason. So we ended
Mhm.
up doing that, and then they got the results back around like 20 something weeks, and they're like, "Oh, you know you have SMA." And I'm like, "No way, I have no idea what this is." And
Mhm.
they're like, "Well, since you have it," um, I had 4 copies. At least that's the highest they can test for, so
Mhm.
they're like, if you have it and your husband is a carrier, there's a pretty high chance you have a higher chance of your baby having SMA as well. So just
Mhm.
unloaded while pregnant with all these things, and we're like, oh my goodness.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
yeah, it
Yeah,
was a
that's a
lot.
lot to find out, especially while you're pregnant.
Yeah, so they did say if I wanted to go to a neurologist while pregnant, and I'm like, I don't think we could do much right now, so I'll just wait till after giving birth because it's kind of a
Mhm.
lot, and I'd rather focus on just the pregnancy, and I'll go after being pregnant. I'm like, I don't think I would want to start treatment because I did kind of research it a little, and I'm
Mhm.
like, I think I'm just gonna wait. I don't want anything to happen, um, just because the treatments were still relatively new. And I
Mhm.
don't know if anyone's taken it while pregnant back then, that like 3 years ago. So
Mhm.
almost 4 years ago. So I was like, I don't really want to start anything. I don't have a severe type, so I think waiting a little is not going to change much at this point.
Mhm.
So then I had my son. He did end up having SMA. We found out through the newborn screening about like a week after he was born.
Oh,
He
okay.
was, yeah,
It was after he was born that you found out.
yeah. They
Mhm.
did give us the option to do amnio. We had like a really short time frame to test for it. Like
Mhm.
before it was like we like you couldn't be able to do it because I was kind of too far along and it'd be more riskier.
Uh-huh.
But I think it was just too much, and I'm like, "Oh, I don't want to do anything. I'm already like overwhelmed with everything." I'm like, if he has it, it wouldn't change the fact. The
Yeah.
hospital we were at, they couldn't test earlier. Um, like even if we did find out, they wouldn't change anything. We'd still have to take his blood. Like after he was born, it'd still be like the same process.
Mhm.
Um, so he did end up having it, and then we had to do the further testing to see what type he had, which took a while to get back. So it was
Oh,
like during Christmas time,
mm,
and we did not know back then that if you directly, I think, go through the company of Zolgensma, I think you could get the blood a lot faster.
okay.
But we did not do that because did not know. It's
You
still
didn't know.
relatively new. So it took
Yeah.
about 2.5 weeks of waiting to get that back. And by then he already lost a lot. Like he was ready like belly breathing like crazy. He
Oh,
couldn't
really?
lift his arms or legs up anymore. He just pretty much just laid there.
Wow.
So we were trying to get all the blood like as quickly as possible because then
Uh-huh.
after they found out he has type 1, he has 2 backup copies. Um, the doctor assumed he already had type 1 or type 2 based on already like 2 weeks after birth. He was already slowly exhibiting like symptoms. He's like, I'm hoping he has type 2, but I have a feeling he's going to have type 1. So getting his like blood work also was pretty difficult before he can get the Zolgensma, the medication.
Uh-huh.
It took us like a week to get it because they just could not like they'd poke him and no blood would come out. I don't know if it's
Oh,
like an SMA thing. I feel like it might be. I've heard like some people do have a lot of difficulty with that.
yes, it definitely is. I know I have that problem, so yes. Mhm.
So that part was horrible. We'd be in for like an hour trying to get blood and
Oh,
him crying, and they'd get the
oh,
vein, but nothing would come out. And I'm like, okay, we're just gonna come back another day because this is not working today.
no.
So we finally got like everything in order and did like the test I think the PT does to like monitor his growth, like how he gets better over time. I can't think of the correct term right now, but
Mhm.
they
That's
like
right.
monitor him like every 6 months to see how he's improving.
Yes.
So he got Zolgensma at like 6.5 weeks.
Uh-huh.
Everything went. I mean, the day did not go that well. They got one IV in and could not get the other one in for like 2 hours. Two
Uh,
pediatric nurses. So
uh,
that took a while. We were like very close to being admitted into the hospital because they're like, we have to get another access point just in case one fails. But luckily, they ended up going in his head. That was the last option. And I was like, I don't really want to be admitted, but if we have to do it in the head, I guess let's just do it.
uh-huh.
So that ended up being the main line that they used for his Zolgensma.
Uh-huh.
But he did really well after, like no problems with his liver, no like vomiting really with the steroids. I know some kids have that problem. So,
Uh-huh.
but he did lose a lot of function and a lot of like lung, I guess, breathing. His lungs got really weak and was like belly breathing a lot.
Yes.
So we definitely lost a lot really fast. So I think seeing that, I was like, man, this is crazy just how fast like it goes downhill. Like I think without Zolgensma, obviously on Spinraza, it definitely would have still helped, but he would have been not great. I think any longer, and I'm not sure he would have made it at that point because that's how like bad he was, like with his breathing, I think specifically.
Uh-huh.
Um, but
Wow. So, so back to you, now that you also know you have it as well, are you on any treatments right now or no?
as of right now, no.
Okay.
But um, at the hospital, me and my son were at previously because we switched him over.
Uh-huh.
I did start Evrysdi in September of 2022
Uh-huh.
till January 2023. Um, and then I switched insurances and I never kind of went back. But getting on the drug was a little difficult.
Uh-huh.
The neurologist there did not, was like, I don't think they're going to approve you. I guess their board has to like approve you to get the medication.
Uh-huh.
Um, and she's like, I don't think they're going to approve you. There's no point of like trying. I'm like, well, I still want you to try because I still want to try to be on it if I can.
Exactly.
Didn't really want to do like any testing at all for me. We did
Wow.
end up doing that test. I don't remember what it's called, where they like put the little needle in your muscle and nerves to test if your muscle's like getting weaker, if it's like atrophied or not.
Okay. Is
It's a
that
very
the
uncomfortable, painful test. Would never do it again.
I've
But
heard that. I think is that the nerve conduction
I
test?
think so. And it's
Yeah.
called like two things. I think it's something else, but never
Yeah.
doing that again.
Yeah. See, thankfully, when they did that to me, I was a baby. And so I don't remember it. But my best friend is one of my best friends is a neurologist. And so she has done it on some babies. And yeah, she's told me it's very painful.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very uncomfortable because they have you like flex your muscle to try to
Oh,
like see how it's working, and that's the part where it's like you can really feel the needle inside, and I'm like, oh, can we just be
ew.
done already? Did you get the information you need? Because I'm ready to go.
Yes, yeah. Well, once you finally took the drug, did it seem to help you at all, or did you see any improvement or
I
no?
didn't see too much of a difference. It could be because of my type as well. Maybe if
Mhm,
you had like type 1 or type 2,
mhm,
maybe you'll notice more of a difference. But I
mhm.
feel like since my type is not as severe, I honestly didn't notice a difference at all.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
had kind of some GI problems while taking it. I feel like it made my
Okay.
stomach just not feel well. So I decided if I was gonna do another medication, I would try Spinraza next, just because I've heard a lot of better stories from adults being on it than being
Yes.
on Evrysdi is what I've heard. I've heard for kids, it seems like Evrysdi works a lot better. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so
Mm-hmm.
hoping to start Spinraza soon. I have finally sent a referral to a new doctor here, and
Mm-hmm.
just waiting for them to call back and hopefully start it soon because definitely need to. Definitely getting weaker after being pregnant. Um,
Yes. Has the family access manager from Biogen, have they reached out to you or no?
yes, they've
Okay,
actually been very, very helpful with me and my son getting
good.
us the care we need.
Okay, good. Okay, yeah, that'll help you through like all of your insurance problem, and setting it up at the hospitals and doing all that. So, yes, I am on Spinraza right now. I have been on both Evrysdi and Spinraza. Went on Spinraza first when it first came out, and then I switched to Evrysdi during COVID because I was like, I don't really want to go in these hospitals, to get Spinraza. So I switched to Evrysdi, and then I switched back. I guess it's been a little over a year now. I switched back to Spinraza, and yeah, I don't know. It's different for everybody. I've interviewed. I think you're the 30th person I've interviewed this year, and some people, say they notice differences, and then some say they don't really notice anything at all. But hopefully, all we can pray for is the most important thing. It's supposed to slow the progression. So
Yeah,
even if we can't feel it doing anything, hopefully it is at least doing that job. So um well, I hope that you get it all figured out soon, and hopefully they can get you started on it soon. So you said that you're type 3, type 4. So why could they not declare which one?
Um, so the previous hospital we were at were like, "Oh, you're type 4 because you're still walking, you're still,
Mhm,
I guess, like, not in a wheelchair," is what they didn't wanna say, but I think what they were thinking.
mhm,
But, from what I was talking from other doctors with that are, from hospitals that are really known for, like, SMA, based on, like, when I had symptoms, they would declare me more a type 3, probably a strong type 3.
mhm,
I guess, or a weak type 4, I guess somewhere kind of in the middle. I guess it kind of depends on which doctor you kind of fall on and
mhm,
um, how they're going to determine are they going to base it off of like childhood already having symptoms or
mhm,
because type 3 is also a very broad category. So
mhm.
there's really weak type 3s and very strong type 3s. So
Yes,
kind of like I'd say like right in the middle of both of them. And since I'm
exactly.
still able
Mhm.
to walk, it kind of makes it, I think, more confusing.
Yes, and type 4 is so new. A lot of people didn't even know about type 4 till a few years ago. They popped up with this type 4, and Um, so yeah, it's interesting. I know they say with type 4, it definitely comes on later in life. Um, I don't know a ton about it. I don't know what age they usually say, but um, so when you were trying to get diagnosed, what kind of doctors were you seeing? Were you seeing neurologists, or who were they?
I did not see a neurologist.
Uh-huh,
I think we saw an orthopedic doctor. That's who they, I
uh-huh,
guess, referred me to. I'm guessing the pediatrician referred us to an orthopedic doctor. Definitely
uh-huh.
not the right doctor to diagnose. I know
Yeah.
it's a doctor you're gonna use probably eventually for, like,
Mm.
spine and hips and everything, all your
Yeah.
everything that starts to get weak from SMA, but there is no way an orthopedic doctor would be able to diagnose me, and no one could figure out that it's, like, something genetic maybe, that a neurologist needs to see you, so
Mhm.
my mom didn't know who else,
No.
to take me to because it's kinda hard unless you, like in Googling it, I don't even think it'd even pop up because
Yeah.
there's probably fits into so many categories that
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
think any of us
that's
have ever even heard of, like, neuromuscular disorders in general until we found out about
mhm.
it, so
Well, that's why that was the main goal that I wanted to do with this YouTube channel because I realized how many people have said they've never heard of SMA, they don't know what it is, and yeah, I know people who have had babies and then they found out, like you, your child hasn't, they don't know, what to do. And so, thankfully, now that the newborn screening has passed in all the states, so thank God for that because, as you know, the sooner the baby gets the drug, the better
yeah, the better.
outcome it will be for sure. So that's thankfully we have that now, at least everywhere. For all the mothers, out there. So for your little boy, what is his name?
His name is Benjamin, but we call him Benji.
Oh, I love it. That's
He's a
all.
very, very talkative boy. He does not stop talking. We thought he might have trouble talking, but nope. He talks all day, every day.
Oh,
But
good.
he did do a lot of speech therapy, so I think that's helped a lot.
Hmm.
He struggles a little bit still with some things, but definitely I'd say for having SMA, he talks very well.
Yes, that's awesome. So, is what kind of wheelchair is he in? Is he able to sit up or does he have to lay down?
He is able to sit up.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he uses a manual chair right now. We're looking at trying to get him some sort of electric chair.
Mm-hmm.
Um, not probably not a power chair, just because he's very smart, and to keep him, I feel like he won't want to go back into the manual and like push himself anymore if we get him that. We did trial some, but trying to kind of find a manual chair that has power abilities that can like drive.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I've been looking at the Bailey's built. I don't know if you heard of them. They're
Mm-hmm.
pretty cool, but very pricey, and I don't think insurance covers them. So we'll see if maybe my husband could build him one. That's what I told him. I said, "Here's a video and pictures of the chair. Maybe you can somehow
Okay.
come up with building one." He's very handy, so
Yeah.
hopefully, just because he's so small and paying a lot of money for a chair he's gonna outgrow so fast is, I feel like,
y- Yeah.
not a good option. And we
So,
like we trialed
okay.
everything with like insurance on like
Mhm.
power options we could add to his chair, but his chair is kind of like in the middle where it's too small for the bigger options, or there's smaller options, but his chair is already too big for those smaller options. So like there's only like one option, and
Mhm.
the little iDrive, I think it's what it's called, that attaches to the back of his chair. But then
Mhm.
like the little button or the knob is kind of hard for him to use. So we're gonna trial it out to see if that works, but there's
Uh-huh.
not much options for little chairs like that.
Yes. So does he have movement? You said he can push his chair with his
Yes.
arm? Wow. That's amazing for a type 1. That's
Yeah, he
really good.
can.
Wow.
Um, Sometimes he chooses not to. He's like,
Yeah.
"Mom, can you just push me?"
Oh, well, yeah, I'm sure it's exhausting, but at least, like you said, it's good exercise for him. And as we all know with SMA, once you stop doing something, you can lose it very fast, you know?
Yeah.
So you want to definitely keep. that going. Um, so you also have another child, right?
Yes, I have a little daughter. She's just turned 1 in June.
Okay.
She's just a carrier. We
Uh-huh.
did end up doing an amnio while pregnant, and
Uh-huh.
first they told us the results were she has SMA type 4, and I'm like, I don't think that's possible. I'm pretty sure she'd have type 1 if she had it. And then I guess they misread it, and it was actually my chart because they had me submit my blood. And they're like, "Oh my goodness, we messed up. We don't have the results yet." So they felt really bad.
Oh my
So then I
goodness.
went back to worrying again if she's gonna have it or not, but she ended up just being a carrier. So it's a 50-50 chance for us since I have SMA and my husband is a carrier.
Yes,
Um, and it seems like they probably all would have type 1 because I'm almost certain my husband has 0 copies. This blood test he didn't say, but I know um, one of his siblings had 0 copies, and if Benji only had 2 copies, probably only whatever I give them, which is probably 2-2. If that's what he had, to probably have 2, just like the 2 chromosomes separated.
separated, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so
Um,
I'm assuming your husband did not know he was a carrier either until
no.
all of this came out. Yeah. See, most people don't know that. And like you said, yes, you both have to be a carrier to have a child with it. Yeah, I know lots of women that actually have SMA that have children that don't have it, like your daughter. Now, I'm sure they might be a carrier, but they don't live with SMA, you know. Um,
Yeah.
so I know it's really interesting when you get into all the testing and the because like I don't know anyone in my family, like I don't have any. Well, I say that I do have like a, I think she was a third cousin, maybe. It was on my grandfather's side of the family, and she had SMA. And but back then it was so long ago that people didn't really know what SMA was. And so, like, my grandparents knew about her, but they just always said she was disabled. Like, they didn't know what was wrong with her or anything. And then finally, as we got older, I found out that she had SMA as well. And but she's the only one in our entire family that I've known for sure. So do you know of anybody in your family, or do you have
Um,
anybody else you know of that has it?
yes, my sister actually also, my mom decided to test her.
Mhm.
She's like 4, 5 years younger than me.
Okay.
And she also came back as having SMA type 4, 4 copies, but she has no symptoms whatsoever, like perfectly normal. So
Wow.
far, at least, doesn't exhibit any. Um, I told her once, hopefully they get Zolgensma approved for adults, that she better get on it and get it, so she never
Yeah.
exhibits any symptoms.
Yes.
Because why exhibit symptoms if you can get something and just live a perfectly normal life
Yeah.
if they
Now,
have something?
yeah. Is she your only sibling?
I have 2 more siblings, another sister and a little brother.
Okay.
But they both have not been tested. My mom might ask if they want to be tested when they're a little older.
Older.
None of them have exhibited symptoms yet, so
Uh-huh.
I'm assuming they don't, but I think
Wow.
she'll test them just to be sure. So, but I
Yeah.
guess both of my parents are just carriers, and 2 of us, at least as we know of, have SMA. So
Um,
even with just carriers, there's still a 25% chance each time.
yes. Yeah.
But no one
Yes.
else, at least that I know of,
Uh-huh.
has SMA in either side, I think, of the families. I know there's a few that found out they're carriers,
Uh-huh.
after hearing that, like, I had it, the moms would test while being pregnant just to be safe. to kind of
Yes.
prepare themselves, but
Yes.
um, yeah, no one else so far has had it.
Wow. Yeah, it's kind of amazing. Like, thank God now we have the technology at least to know, and back when I was diagnosed, which was like 40, almost 40 years ago, yeah, they didn't have the blood testing. It was a muscle biopsy. That's how they tested. So by then they could tell, like my parents, I had SMA, but they couldn't tell the types, and they didn't know all of that because they didn't know how many copies. They just knew that I had SMA. And so over the years, people would ask me, well, what type are you? And I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I've just been going on what I read over the years. I just kind of diagnosed myself as a type 2, because I could sit and I had head control and all of that. And so, yeah, but now with the blood testing, now thank goodness they can tell all of that. So, um, well, let's go ahead now that we've got into all that stuff. You talked about growing up with SMA and all the sports you did and stuff like that. You didn't know. That was pretty amazing, though, that you could do all of that. So do you stay at home now, or do you have
Um,
a career, or what?
I did go to college. I do have an AA in business administration, I believe. I don't even
Uh-huh.
remember. I was going for accounting.
Uh-huh.
Um, I never finished my bachelor's, like just started it and then got married and got pregnant. And I did end up getting a job though still through an internship as a tax assistant in for a tax firm in San Francisco.
Uh-huh.
So kind of prepared some business taxes, did like accounting stuff like
Uh-huh.
payroll. Just did a bunch of like different things for about
Uh-huh.
2 years. It was a pretty cool experience. They
Uh-huh.
would keep me there if I wanted to stay, but it ended up not working since I had my son and he ended up having SMA. I was like, this is just, I had to leave on like days because of appointments and it was just kind of too much. And then someone needed to end up taking care of him like all the time. And he has
Yeah.
a bunch of machines for breathing. So it's like if he's sick, I'm the one that's gonna have to take care of him, doing everything, trying to keep him out of the hospital if
Ye
possible.
yes. Yes.
So I did end up quitting at the end of December, I think 2022, and just signed up to be his caregiver since we have all these resources in California. So now I get paid to take care of him
Yeah.
and stay at home with him and take him anywhere needed and be with my daughter. So it actually, I'd say, worked out a lot better. One of the
Yeah.
benefits of living here is all these programs that they have. And it's easy
Mhm.
to take him to therapy and just anywhere makes it much easier. And especially that we travel far for his specialty appointments. We travel to San Francisco to Stanford.
Mhm.
It's about like a 2.5 hour drive if there's no traffic. If there is traffic, definitely longer.
Yes. So
Um,
I'm assuming you're still able to drive and do all that
y-
stuff?
yes, it is
Mhm.
getting difficult. It kind of always has been hard to drive. Which if I knew I had it, would have made sense. Like,
Yeah.
I need to have, like, longer I choose cars with a longer seat, so my leg is very, like, stable on it. So usually that's, like, a German car. I guess they're
Uh-huh.
taller people maybe. Um, so that helps, and, like, wearing, like, tennis shoes, helps a lot. So I usually only wear tennis shoes, and if I wanna change my shoes after, I'll change them, but while driving, it gives, like, more support. The
Yeah.
hardest for me is just switching now from gas to brake, like, lifting my foot up. I
Oh,
struggle
yeah.
with it, but if I position it in a way, it's okay still.
Mhm.
But it is starting to get harder, so that's why I'm like, I need to really get onto a treatment because I can just feel it slowly getting worse.
Yes.
Um,
Yes, and you not only have yourself to think about, you have your kids and your husband,
yeah,
but Yeah, that's a lot. You definitely want to. I know you definitely want to stay strong for them. So, are you able, since your little boy cannot walk, are you able to lift him and all of that?
Yes, my
Yeah.
arms have kind of always been maybe since I used my arms instead of my legs, they've kind of stayed pretty strong since I
Mhm.
getting, like, off the ground is pretty difficult, like, I can kinda still, like, push myself up with my hands, but sometimes it's easier to, like, go by the couch and lift myself up, so I do kinda struggle with that, so if I'm, like, trying to sit down with them, I'll, like, put my son down first and then, like, sit down, and to pick him up,
Yeah.
I'll, like, stand up first and then pick him up.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I still am able he's pretty light, he's only, like, 27 pounds, so it's still pretty easy, but he is, like, dead weight, so you can't hold him for, like, that long because he still can't hold himself that well.
Yeah.
But I try to keep myself still, like, moving as much as possible to try to keep the muscles alive as much as I can. Because I've
Yes.
noticed I think that's what's kinda helped maybe, being so active, not have the
Mhm.
symptoms maybe not get as bad so fast. I'm
Yeah.
wondering if that's why I'm not as don't have maybe as a severe type. Because my
Yeah.
mom kind of always pushed me, she's like, "No, you can do it, let's go," and kind of did hikes and everything, and I feel like keeping up and doing as much as I can until I know, "Okay, I'm not gonna be able to do this with you guys because it's already, like I can feel my knees are gonna give out, so I, like, won't do certain things now, but
Yes.
I think, yeah, kind of moving my body as much as I can has helped.
It
Um,
helps. Yeah. Yeah. That's amazing. Now, did you ever, like, before you knew you were diagnosed and all of that, it was just the weakness? Did you ever have any kind of pain, nerve pain, anything like that, or no?
I have a lot of knee pain. My knees just, like, ache and hurt a lot. It almost feels
Mhm,
like the bones are, like, kind of, like, rubbing against each other at
mhm,
times.
mhm.
So those I feel like my knees hurt a lot, and sometimes my hips feel just weird. I'm pretty sure they could be slightly out of place. We'll know soon,
Yeah.
but they're definitely very weak because I can just feel just they don't feel right. Um,
Mhm,
Now I'd say I do have a lot more pain, like, in my hands from, like, just they're definitely getting weaker, which I can tell, like, when I do a lot of cooking, say, in the kitchen, or I like to bake also. So
mhm,
if I do a lot of anything with, like, my wrist starts to, like, really hurt.
mhm.
And then I do have a lot of, like, tremors in my hands, so I have to, like, sometimes be careful because it, like, starts shaking. So I'm like, "Okay, I think I
Every
need to take a break for a second and come back to it."
mhm. See, I
Definitely
never.
getting yeah, go ahead.
I know what were you saying? Go ahead.
Definitely getting more pain. Definitely have a lot of more back pain now. I think it also could be from giving birth. Benji, I gave birth just normally vaginally, but my daughter had to do a C-section, so I think that kind of made it a lot worse in like my stomach, kind of back area. I feel like it's very tight.
Uh-huh.
Um, she ended up being breech and did not want to turn down, so um,
Uh,
did have that, so I feel like that's kind of made some of my lower back hurt a lot more, so I kind of
yeah.
have to always get it, like, adjusted or, go get a massage to take out, like, some tight knots, that's kind of helped,
Uh-huh.
but, like, for the rest of the pain, like, my wrist, sometimes I'll wear, like, uh, wrist support to kind of give it some support. My knees, I don't really know what to do much, I usually just take a break and just relax. There's
Mhm.
not much to do for
Yeah.
that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's I've never had the tremors. I guess that's more of like a type 3, type 4 thing since I've never really been able to do a whole lot with my arms and stuff. So I don't know. That's interesting to know though that you have that. Well, is there any other? I know you said your little boy has a lot of medical equipment, breathing machines, and stuff like that. Do you have any of that, or you don't have to use any of that yet?
Um, so far, no. I'm trying to keep myself pushing and
Yes,
not get any sort of aid because I feel like once I get it, I'm probably gonna wanna walk less and
yes,
trying to keep myself active. There is times I wish I had one, I will not lie.
yeah,
Like, when we went right now just to the Cure SMA conference in Disneyland, it's definitely tiring walking through, like, the whole park, but
yes.
usually I would just, like, sit down for a little and I'd be okay. I guess I have a very, like, strong mindset. I'm like, "I can do it, I can do it, I'm not gonna give up, like,
Uh-huh.
I got this," so I feel like that helps a lot, kinda pushing yourself,
Fish, yes. Was that your
and
first conference to attend?
yes.
Oh, wow. What did you think?
It was really cool. We didn't really get to go to a lot of workshops. We only went to like one because I have 2 kids and they're not gonna sit through that and they're not gonna be alone in that room. If they would be alone, I would have went to more, but they're very like since I guess I'm with them all the time, they're kind of really attached to me or my husband, so it's like stranger danger, they're not gonna stay there.
No.
But my parents did also go with my siblings, so, we had a good time meeting a few new people, talking with them. Actually met a few other people with similar cases like mine, so it's really cool to find
Really?
out what they do with certain things that are hard or
Yes.
so it was honestly really cool. Can't wait to go again. Not sure we'll go to Florida, but maybe next time it's back here we'll go just 'cause it's easier to drive and flying with all this stuff is a little intimidating at the moment with all my son's stuff, so
Yes, yes, and that would be hard for you, I can imagine having to try to carry all that and the kids and yeah. Last year was my first one, when it was in Texas, and it was amazing. I loved it. Same thing. I met so many people, like me, and I loved it. I cannot wait to go back again. So, well, so what all equipment does your little boy have to use?
he uses a BiPAP at night or pretty much whenever he's sleeping, I put it on him just because he
Mhm,
has a pretty bad, pectus excavatum, the little, like, dip in the chest,
mhm,
and since he's a really bad belly breather, it helps a lot. Um
mhm,
And he also has a cough assist because he can't
mhm,
clear his coughs, a suction machine, the vest, the clearance vest, the little shaky vest they usually call it,
mhm,
and then just a nebulizer for all his like medications.
mhm,
And he has a stander also, and we're
mhm,
hopefully in like 2 or 3 weeks. It looks like his gait trainer came in, so we're gonna try to start walking a little more. He did an intensive therapy in April, May, a couple months
mhm.
ago, and he did really well and was able to actually kind of walk in the gait trainer there. So we ordered one. I'm excited
Wow.
to use that. Intensive therapy has actually really helped him a lot, so I think we're gonna try to do one again. It's
Yes.
pretty hardcore, but he did, like, so well, like, he surprised us with all the new things he could do after that. There
Mhm.
was, like, so many he can, like, pretty much turn fully around while sitting, balance himself, like, turn back, which he could only last time could kinda sit, and he kind of fell over a lot, couldn't, like, be too couldn't sit for too long, I guess, without, like, a lot of support.
Mhm.
Um, then just, like, walking he walked on a treadmill there, like, strapped up in a harness and, like, bungees.
Uh-huh.
And, like, on a really slow setting, but he was able to pick up his feet on his own, like, pretty much fully walking. So that
Wow.
was really cool. Just a lot of, like, new things. They were trying to teach him if instead of just falling back, like he likes to do for fun, how to fall safely and
Yeah.
not to scuffle farce down 'cause he is a boy
Oh,
and they think it's
yeah.
funny.
Oh,
I'm
that's
like, "It's not
funny.
funny, you're gonna hurt yourself, buddy. We need to fall safely."
Yeah, fall. Oh
So
my goodness.
they, like, taught him a lot of new things, taught us things to do with him at home.
Uh-huh.
I know doctors are really against it because they think it's too, like, hardcore on the body just because it's not been researched, I think, at all. But
Mhm.
honestly, since seeing how I have been, I think kind of pushing a little bit is helps a
Mhm.
lot to kind of maintain or for him gain some new skills.
Yeah.
I feel like you need to, and in his case, it's definitely helping. I've saw just a lot of other kids with SMA doing it, like, all around the world, and I was like, "I think we have to try it because 'cause they're doing new things, and I feel like he's kind of stuck in not doing new things, and let's kind of
Yeah,
motivate him. And it's definitely helped. It's just very pricey because insurance doesn't cover it.
yes, that's what I've heard. Yeah,
So that'd be one cool thing if they can get insurance to cover it.
for sure. Well, does he still do weekly therapy every week?
Yes,
Yes.
he does PT, OT occasionally, but PT every week at CCS, the California Children's Services. It's like a
Mm-hmm.
program we have here.
Mm-hmm.
So he does that, and that definitely helped. We showed her some of the new things he did there at therapy, intensive therapy. So they have some of the same stuff. So she'll do some of that stuff here with him to continue having him get stronger.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, I know actually, I was in a sorority when I was in college, and actually one of my sorority sisters is a therapist now, and she does the intense therapy sessions on. I don't know if she's ever done an SMA child, but I know she's done other diseases and diagnoses, and yeah, it's amazing. Sometimes I watch the videos, I'm like, oh, that looks like it's gonna hurt them, but it doesn't. They bounce back up, and I know another little boy from Louisiana, a little baby. He is probably over a year now, and they took him to Tennessee this summer to do an intense program. I'm not sure why they went to Tennessee. I don't know the whole story, but yeah, they were like rolling him on the mat, and yeah, it was amazing though the head control he had.
Yeah.
So yeah, well, that story is kind of amazing. You're the first person I think I've ever interviewed with a story like this. So it's very interesting, and I'm so glad that you've researched and reached out to the Cure SMA community to learn about all the new things out there. Because thank goodness there's so much technology now and therapies and everything to help. And hopefully, the disease will not progress that fast. So, yeah, now you told me he got Zolgensma, but is he also on Spinraza or no? Or,
Yes. So we ended up switching hospitals because the one he was at did not want to give him another treatment. It'd be like a big fight with them.
mm-hmm,
So we decided it was almost the end of the year. So we decided to just switch. He didn't have Medi-Cal at the time, so we just decided to switch insurances to get a different hospital. So that's where we
uh-huh,
moved him to finally Stanford. And it was like no problem getting another treatment there. They like took care of everything with insurance, got us in
okay,
faster since we knew the Biogen
yeah,
fam.
yes,
I think it was a lady at the time, and
uh-huh,
that helped. And he's on it right now. We
mm,
might stop it. We're like debating just because every time after it, his lungs kind of take a toll, and he kind of gets like this cough from I think from the anesthesia.
uh,
Um, so we don't know if it's like worth it every time to have him like it takes him like almost 2 weeks usually to get better.
oh,
And this time they had to use IR, the radiation interventional or
yeah,
inter something. I can't
yeah,
remember the right term.
interventional
Yeah, yeah.
radiology. Yeah,
Just because it was hard to like find the spot.
yes.
So my husband wasn't a fan of like the team they had just right now. Usually the doctor that does it, she's like friendlier. Usually one of us also takes him back there into the operating room because he can't be on Versed because he has the adverse reaction. It makes him very hyper instead of calms him down.
Oh,
So
me too.
they can't find
He's
any other drug that does that. So they just let us take him back there, and then they put him under, and then we just leave the OR room.
Um,
And I guess this time they didn't really let him do that. I didn't go with him, since we have my daughter now. Um, so we'll see. We're like debating. We might try off of it and see if he needs it or not. But I
yeah,
guess you have to like weigh the negatives and the positives. So we're like just considering what to do.
yeah. Well, I do know they have a port now. I'm sure you probably heard about it at the conference or online. That they can insert, and then that way they can just inject the Spinraza straight into that without having to sedate or find the spot or any of that. Now, I do know you're limited. Only certain places are like doing the ports. But I do know in Texas they are doing it. I don't know where else exactly, but I've heard good things about it. So I don't know. That may be an option other than having to sedate him every time, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, we were thinking about that, but
It
it's a lot, so we're just trying to
it
figure out what to do. So
it is. It is. And that's like somebody asked me, why don't you do it? And I was like, well, I shouldn't say it, but so far they have not had any trouble finding my spot in my back. And I have a rod from scoliosis, but they use the CT guidance, and I don't really have a lot of pain either. And I'm not sedated at all, which I know is a rare case because some people say it's very painful for them. So I was like, until it's painful, I'm not having the surgery to have a port put when I can do it this way. So yeah, it's just you kind of got to figure out what works for you. But the doctors definitely make a difference. Because thankfully I have had wonderful doctors so far, but I know we have one that's not easy to work with. That's never fun, you know.
yeah, I agree
So
with that.
yes, yes. It's hard to find doctors that know about SMA. I'm sure y'all have experienced that. Like I know recently I've been looking for a new pulmonologist, and I mean you're so limited because so many of them are like, yeah, I've heard of it, but they don't totally fully understand how our lives are and everything. So I know it's a challenge to find that. So yeah, but well, you talked about your vehicle a little bit, but is there any technology or life hacks that you use to make your life easier for you or for your little boy?
Um, I guess technology. We do have a Siri. My husband is very, I guess, technological. I'm me, not so much.
Uh,
So he does have like on all the switches. He's turned slowly changed them all to smart switches. So he can say like, "Hey Siri, turn off Benji's room light." So I
yeah.
think once he figures out how to say that, he can like turn his light on and off. But it
Uh,
makes it like easier, or will turn off the TV or
yes.
whatever else he programs onto there. So that makes it easy. Say if
Mhm.
you're even in a wheelchair and you got into bed and you're like, oh, I forgot to turn off the lights.
Yes.
So if your phone's just near you, you can just say it and it'll just turn off the light, which is nice.
Mhm.
Um, I
What about
guess
do you don't have a wheelchair accessible van yet, do you? Or you
no, I just put his wheelchair. So far, it's not too heavy, so I can still lift it up, put into the trunk.
mhm. Thinking.
Um, but we're we'll see. I guess we'll see how it goes, if what
Yeah.
kind of car we need in the future, but for
Mhm.
now it works.
Yeah. 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 Do you
Uh,
remember? for now. That's all you can do. I've learned that as I've got older, and obviously, even though I'm on Spinraza, I didn't get on it until I was older because it wasn't available, and so I've still lost some ability, and yeah, you just have to adapt every day and do what works for you then. So,
Yeah.
well, I could probably talk to you for hours because your story is kind of amazing with everything you've had. But I'm so glad y'all are doing well. And I saw your pictures of your children. They are so beautiful, both of them. So cute.
Thank you.
You have a beautiful family for sure. I know that makes your life easier too. Having support from your family is a big thing. So that's awesome. But, but I never probably run out of time, and I'm sure you have to get back to your kids soon. So I wanted to ask you one last question though. What is the one thing you would like to advocate the most for the SMA community?
Um, Probably getting like easier access on all the medications. Like if you want dual therapy, for it not to be as challenging as it is.
Yes,
It should be, I feel like, easy. Like it doesn't matter what type you have. Like I feel like if you want to be on dual therapy because one therapy hasn't helped and want to try another, like you should be able to get it. But making I feel like the drugs cheaper would be a lot more helpful. That's usually
yeah,
the biggest problem is they're very expensive. I feel like
yes,
that would be amazing if everyone could get it worldwide because I know around the world people struggle to get it, and it's just very sad because there's something available and they can't get it. So it like upsets me a
exactly.
little.
Yes,
Just having kids die just because they can't get Zolgensma or Spinraza or Evrysdi, just anything to, especially the type ones, keeping them pretty
yeah,
much what keeps them alive because most of them eventually will pass without it.
exactly. And like, I wish the insurance companies would understand as well. Like ours is a time here. Like every day is progressing,
Yeah,
and so you can't sit around and wait for weeks or months to, get this drug because you're losing strength as the time goes on. So,
yeah,
um, yeah, I definitely agree with that as well. They definitely need to make that better for sure. So, but thank goodness we have treatment options out there, and hopefully in the future we're going to have more. I know they're talking about doubling the dose of Spinraza, which
yeah,
I'm very excited about that to see what that's gonna do. That's gonna make improvements too. I know for Eresdi, they just came out with a peel
yeah. I
instead of
saw
a
that.
liquid. So that's also really amazing because there are people that take it that have to travel. That's a pain trying to worry if it's cold enough, and if the refrigerator you store it in is cold enough. And so that was really nice too. So hopefully they're going to keep coming out with more things to help improve all of our lives. And I guess until then, we just keep doing what we know is best for us. So, but it was so nice meeting you, and I'm so glad that you are in the SMA community now, that you went to the conference, and I'm sure you're on groups online too. So, um, definitely use all the resources because that's definitely the best way you learn is from other people's experiences, you know. So anyway, well, thank you again for joining me today. And I'm so excited you were my first one to kick off the new season of this. And feel free to share my YouTube channel with all your friends and your family, and they can subscribe. And if they can click on the link on the post I have to donate to Cure SMA for research. But if they cannot do that, I hope that they just enjoy watching and listen to us advocate and spread awareness for SMA. So, well, I hope you have a wonderful day, Alyssa, and let's definitely keep in touch for sure.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It was
Oh,
nice chatting with you.
I know. Thank you too, and I'll talk to you later.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.